Ernest, what is happening in the IT environment? December, was it relatively quiet? Did we see volumes drop off significantly?
Yes, thanks, Bronwyn. It's, it's this time of the year where you look back, not just at December, but you look at the whole year, and then you try and predict what's going to happen for the year forward. I don't know why we tend to do more of that in January than in any other month in the year. But yeah, I mean, the last sort of period in IT has been very up and down. I mean, we've seen probably 5 or 6 companies with terrible news and performance and results, and we've seen about 3 or 4 real winners. So people say to me, what are the themes of the year, etc., and I say it's very difficult because you've got to look at the companies individually.
Last time you were on the show, you were highlighting for us a couple of smaller IT companies that you suggested that we have a look at. Are any of those coming through? Would you be able to sort of highlight 1 or 2 at this stage that you would suggest are making their way at the moment? It's
you're right, and the answer to your question is yes. I've been doing some numbers. I'm still busy with it. I'm looking at 2011 as a whole year, and 2 stocks come to mind: Pinnacle and EOH, which are 2-3 years ago were fairly small companies, not well invested by the big funds, and now they're growing. They're 2 billion, 2.5 billion market caps. And they've got exceptionally good management, great results, and they're just growing and getting re-rated.
Can they repeat their 2011 performance? Because both did very well, didn't they?
Both did very well. They were both north of 50%, if memory serves me correctly. So, I mean, I don't want to say that's going to happen again, because if you dissect those performances into earnings growth and re-ratings, you'll find probably 20 to 30% was earnings growth and 20 to 30% re-ratings. And I kind of think the PEs are getting a little bit high, so we're not going to get further re-ratings.
But let me rephrase the question. Would you be holding them at current levels?
Oh, yes, without a doubt.
Certainly I wouldn't not be selling them.
You could even, if you want to, top up a little bit, but I wouldn't go in massively.
Kevin, have you taken the plunge?
No.
Pinnacle or EOH?
No, but I was intrigued by what you were saying, that the difference, Ernest was saying last time he was on the show, and I don't think I need to remind you because you were on the show at the same time, but he was saying that what makes the difference between companies is not necessarily the sectors they're in or the contracts they've got, say with a government contract, is the management. It's literally the management of Pinnacle or EOH is superior to other companies. Is there any other companies that stand out that one would look at where you would think that there is superb management?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to say that they are superb and then try and imply that all the others aren't. I would just say that there are other companies that have got very good management, companies like Gijima, but they've just had particular issues that have, I don't think it's been management's fault entirely. It's just happened, and results have plummeted. So, I'd say,
talking about Gijima.
Yeah, let's talk about
what would you do with it at 67 cents?
Oh no, I'd definitely hold it. In fact, I'd buy more, because I think Gijima is one that could really show a classic turnaround in the year ahead.
Remind us where it's come from.
The company's come from about 50 cents odd at its low when this whole project that they had with the government department got cancelled, prior to that, they were at about R1.20. So the shares got a lot of room to grow. The PE is very low. It's a great story, I think. It's good management. I mean, we're not talking about a intellectual property competitive advantage moat type of situation. This is a normal company that's got to fight for all of its projects that it gets. But I think going forward, it will recover, and I think it's a good one.
And just put data tech in context relative to these smaller companies. Obviously, data tech bigger, but would it fit into any of the same sort of mold?
Data tech's a company which I've followed for a number of years, probably almost 10 years. And, data tech is really a proxy, in my opinion, for the global networking industry. They have a massive exposure to networking in many countries all over the world, and they're one of the largest distributors of networking equipment.
What is going to happen to networking then going forward?
Well, if you take a longer term view, say a 2 to 3 year or even 5 year view, I would say I'm very positive on that. And the reason being that we're moving more and more into where the network controls just about everything, or enables just about everything, like video conferencing, etc. And all these types of instant messaging and all these different applications, they require a much more intelligent network. So the companies have to go and upgrade all the equipment to get all these fancy features. And so companies like Datatec just benefit from it. Just incidentally, on the JSE, Datatec is listed in rands, but it's actually an offshore stock. So when the rand weakens, the stock naturally goes up.
So with a 5-year view, would you buy Datatec at 41.90 Rand?
I would buy it probably on a year or 2 year view. They're in an upswing momentum at the moment in terms of their performance.
Telkom and KT Corp, can we quickly, because we are running out of time, memorandum of understanding has been signed?
Yeah, it's been signed, and we're now waiting to hear what they propose to do with that. Whether it's going to bring any good things to the company, which everybody thinks, or
what can 20% do, though?
Not much, I don't think.
So
you're very skeptical. You sound very
look. I mean, it's hard to really comment on it when you don't know what really is going to go on behind the scenes and what will happen. But right now, from what we know, it looks to me like it's not going to necessarily rescue Telkom from all their troubles. They've got to have a solid management team that looks at their core strengths.
Can I get cynical and say this is throwing good money after bad?
You mean from the Koreans' perspective? You could, if you wanted to, but I mean, I question how much of it is to them. It's probably not a massive investment to.
In other words, what do you think their game is? Why would they be interested in this?
Look, I'm not sure, but I think it has something to do with Africa, where Telkom is a potential springboard for them into the rest of Africa.
Well, let's watch the story as it unfolds. Irnest, thank you very much for your time and for that comprehensive update of the sector. Irnest Kaplan from Kaplan Equity Analysis.